Murder, witchcraft and poltergeists await the Most Haunted team as we return to Pendle Hill.
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. On a Halloween live show, we visited two incredible places, Tynedale and Lower Wellhead Farm. Bearing that in mind, I felt that we had to come back and investigate both places. So this week, I've brought you to the first location, Lower Wellhead Farm.
Lying a few short miles northwest of Burnley, this is an area that to this very day is still haunted by a tale from the distant past. In 1612, Lower Wellhead and the land around it was alleged to have played host to witchcraft. This coven was consequently exposed and blamed for the murders of several locals and a groundswell of accusations appearing to seal their fate. Some were acquitted, but many others were hanged in August of that year, and so the legend of the Pendle Witches began.
The whole situation around here is strange. I mean, we're talking of 11 people that were tormented, tortured and executed around here. They're believed to have been witches, they're believed to have cast spells on people, murdered people.
All around this building and surrounding land, witches plied their magic, causing death and fear to all in the vicinity. Some say some of their victims still roam this area. Tall, dark shapes have been seen walking around this building, and screams are often heard when there was no one there.
These people, these old ladies, 80-year-old ladies, Chattocks and Demdike, and their families, were probably, to be honest with you, only like neighbours from hell today, or gypsies, travellers. They knew the old-fashioned arts of curing people, of curing animals, and probably there was nothing more than that. Remember that those people didn't read newspapers, didn't watch television, didn't listen to the radio, and they had far more power, I believe, in their minds then than we have now.
Dark shadows have been seen taking shape in the middle of the dining room, and then they slowly vanish through the wall. Many people have the experience of feeling like they're being strangled, and they also hear whispering.
But you must remember that after what happened to them, and they were hanged under dreadful circumstances, strangled to death, taking at least a quarter of an hour to die, then I would think that now their spirits have become very evil. And that's why things have happened here. That's why things do happen here. And I shudder to think what might happen tonight.
This bedroom is said to be home to a mischievous spirit that likes to open and close drawers and snatch doors out of people's hands. This actually happened to a member of our crew on a previous visit. What's happened?
This door.
What do you mean, this door?
Both me and Carol are here. It's really, really cold. And the door pushed.
Are you joking?
Closed. I had hold of it.
Are you all right?
It scared me to death.
So are these strange activities and apparitions caused by the Pendle Witches and their victims, or is something else at work here? We have 24 hours to find out.
Another interested onlooker on that fateful autumn evening was parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe, who is well aware of the rationale behind this investigation.
What happened at the live, there was a lot of things that happened in very quick succession. There was a noise heard outside of the room.
What's that?
There was a glass moving.
Please make this glass move as a sign of yes, that you are...
There was something apparently touching Kath's head.
Oh, John, something's just grabbed Kath's head.
Call it down.
Jeez!
Here we go, Derek.
There was a possession.
Derek, come forward.
Normally on an investigation, if one of those things happens, we'll go and investigate it. And I think just because it all happened at the same time, it almost it exaggerated it. It gave it more emphasis.
I want something to happen more than anything, but I just feel so cosy. I feel like I put my feet up and have a cup of tea. Yeah. Too comfortable, in fact, but we shall see. You never know.
It's good for this investigation that we feel this way, because then it means we can discount any possibility of suggestion or just, you know, this anxiety and fear that normally comes with an investigation that almost creates or makes us misinterpret things as paranormal when they're not. But like I said before, from a psychologist's point of view, at least in this sort of situation, there is no suggestion, there's no anxiety, there's no fear. If there are any slight noises, then the reaction to it will be more objective. It's only when you get the extreme phenomena will there actually be, you know, more of an anxious, fearful reaction to it.
Psychics Derek Akora and David Wells have joined us in Lancashire, but unlike other investigations, on this occasion, both have had first-hand experience of the apparent malevolence that these scenic hills hold. Would Halloween return to haunt us? It was time to step back into Lower Wellhead Farm.
So do you remember this, Derek?
I can't remember the actual content of the investigation as such, because I can't retain that a lot. But since coming back into the atmosphere from the residual energy, I feel, well, it's been not repeated, but it's coming back to me now. Not nice. Not nice. In fact, I feel there is one particular not so nice, nasty, intentional spirit person that seems to be grounded here.
Right.
And it's because of him, and I say him, male, it's because of him I feel possibly a lot of ghostly, if that's the right word, as people would call it, activities have happened in this building, in this home. This is unusual for me to get this like trepidation, this feeling of, hey, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen? There's most certainly people, souls, who actually died, left the physical body with this area.
Do you want to go forward into that?
Can we?
Yeah.
It's a number of souls that were actually lost their lives, something to do with this property. I feel this like caged feeling. It's like as if, the only way I can describe it, it's like as if people being brought in and thrown into like a cell situation. It's like souls being trapped and then, you know, screaming out. In this building, there should be a lot of sounds heard by the naked ear, like screeching and screams and, you know, trodden walking like this. And that would be him walking up and down, and he's just absolutely wanting to hurt, not just like be jailer. He's wanting to hurt, and it's his badness. It's his badness that is still localised here, grounded.
What time period would you put him at, and when this cruelty happened?
Come on, Sam, put it into my mind's eye. That could be late 1500 and something, leading into 1600s.
Okay.
And he was a cruel soul. I feel as we walk through, maybe he'll follow.
Do you want to go upstairs now?
I'd love to go.
Okay.
I'd love to see what these mental images they're giving me.
Yeah.
Okay.
For an area usually associated with tales of witchcraft, we were all interested by Derek's sensing of a dominant male energy on the farm's ground floor. So would he or any others still exist as we moved up to the first floor?
The different picture of this room now is of a number of cells. You know, just very small, cramped rooms. That small, you know, how can I put it? It's like as if they go right across where this was. And this whole here area was nothing but cells holding men and women. And I feel even children. And this jailer, this is his area.
He was a jailer?
Yes. A person who held... I feel it was like, how can I put it? Not like the conventional jail, but like a holding area to be judged. But they were brought here, just herded like cattle into the small cell type thing. Not just himself, there'd be a lot of them, crammed like chickens. And then things would happen. But whilst some of these were here, his cruelty was so, so bad that a lot of them, you know, who didn't come in for any what we call major crime, this is what's all coming out here, would not walk out of here. He slaughtered them.
Is there anybody present here now? I mean, you're saying...
I know he's listening.
This is this man?
Yes.
And have you got a name with him yet? Can Sam give you a name?
I'm asking Sam now. Give me a name, please. What? Okay. Brindle. Brindle? Is that surname? He gives me the surname Brindle. Go on. Can we give him my first name? Edward. Edward. So, I've got to take that as Edward Brindle. Edward Brindle.
Witchcraft and now torture prevail at Lower Wellhead Farm, with some of its apparent former inhabitants either unwilling or simply incapable of moving on. But for some of us, another night of suffering had only just begun.
If you can hear me, dear, I'm not scared of you at all.
Our return to Lancashire's Pendle Hill had so far only touched on the chaotic torment that we'd previously suffered on a live investigation. But would Lower Wellhead Farm's back bedroom now offer us any further clues to the man that Derek has identified as Edward Brindle?
This would have to be the oldest part of this property. That's what I feel it is.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm drawn where John is that window.
Yeah?
It's not a window, is it? But it is a window.
Oh, right, I see what you mean.
Quickly, I saw a window.
Yeah.
And the next minute, this soul is going boom, 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 and knocking on the window. If someone was sleeping here, he would do this. And people would jump out of that bed, I feel sure, and they'd look, because they'd hear whack, whack, whack on a window, and they'd look and there's no window.
Right.
He whacks there as well, and there's no window there. So there's a lot of audibles, a lot of noise going on in this bedroom.
Right.
People, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd run out of this room.
Right.
But there,
Very loud.
oh,
Very
I
loud.
mean, ear piercing.
Right.
Rap, 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 rap. Not just ch-ch-ch-ch. It'd make an ordinary person, a normal person, jump out of that bed and
Right.
they'd probably have a look, and then it'd probably confuse them because there's looking at a brick wall.
Yeah. But you can see that's where a window used to be.
Yes, but
Yes.
that's where he...
Is this the jailer, then?
Yes, it's him. He is to blame for a lot, well, totally. I mean, the witches and what have you that were in this area, round here, coming here, they are not in any way, shape, as active as what this one is because he's grounded.
Right, I see.
He's grounded.
So
He's not moved on.
So do you think, when we were here last, do you think it was the witches that were causing all the activity, or do you think...
Yes, I feel they were around at that time.
Yeah.
And I've been quietly saying, you know, to Sam, are they around, Sam?
Yeah.
Are they around? Earlier, they said they're not in the atmosphere here yet, but the way he's giving it to me, they're likely they are going to come.
Okay.
But this one, this Edward Brindle, he's around, he's listening.
Okay.
And he wants to make... He's only happy when he sees upset, disturbance, because he stands back, after all, what he does, just to see the reaction. And he gets some kind of, you know, he's a sicko, feeling of joy that people are petrified. This was his place, the cruelty beyond belief.
As our day in Lancashire turned to night, we switched our cameras to night vision and wondered what other surprises awaited us as David Wells entered Lower Wellhead Farms lounge.
I'm very conscious in this whole house of a little girl running around.
Is she what? Here all the time?
Active, yeah. And she's being, you know, I don't. This sounds awful, but she's been constantly chased. Seems like she's been constantly chased around. By whom, I'm not sure. It seems like she's unsettled. Do you know what I mean? She's running from room to room to room. I'm not sure if she's actually been chased or she's looking for someone or something.
How old would you say this little girl was?
She's around 6, 7. She's not very old. She's also got her hair in pigtails.
Right.
About this length. I think we'll get more of her when we go upstairs. She seems probably more active up there.
David's sensing of a young girl may initially equate to our playful and homely surroundings, but his feelings that she is being chased were a cause for concern.
Sorry, I had someone talk to me up there towards that bedroom. Just thought I had a woman laughing.
Do you want to go down there?
Do you want to go down there?
I want to deal first of all with this little girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I want to go definitely down there.
Okay.
Okay, let me just find her. She's here. And
Is she in the room?
she's in this corner, yeah. I can't get her name. She's crying now. She's sitting in a corner crying.
Oh.
She's like crying. I'm asking her.
Can you see her?
It's rare that I actually see. And when I do see them, that usually means they're a very strong energy. She's so upset. Why is she so upset? She's done something. The grandmother is really angry with her. I'm just wondering, has she stolen something or...
Could you describe her clothing and then maybe we could pinpoint?
She's wearing like a shift, just a white shift. It looks like a nightgown. It's just a very plain white cotton, not particularly clean. And yet her hair is plaited immaculately, her hair is done immaculately. But not clean, but it's tidy. And she's wearing like this very basic white shift. There's blood on it as well. It's not her blood though. Right, okay. She's showing me, there's now like she's covered in blood, but she's showing me her hands, so there's blood on her hands, but she's only a child. She's only a child, and I don't think she's committed murder. But she's showing me blood on her hands, is what she's saying. So she feels as if she's caused someone's death, clearly. She's caused someone's death, that's what she's saying to me.
Okay. Do you want to head back in that room? Okay. Because that's where you heard some laughing?
Yeah, I thought I had a woman laugh.
Okay.
With some of the most haunted crew having already been a party to a violent witch hunt within these rooms, David's sensing of a young girl certainly wasn't expected. But having since discovered her identity, could we now trace the source of the apparent laughter nearby?
Yeah. One of the reasons for me that I really wanted to come back here is that for the first time I had a crossover effect where there was a real physical happening to me in just a normal walk round. I wasn't sitting, trying to meditate on something. I wasn't using that kind of energy. I was just simply doing what we're doing now. And the old woman, it was almost like she came right up to my face and she had something in her palm and she held it to my eye level and she blew. And as she blew, I was just thinking, she's trying to scare me or something. My eyes physically started to water. It's like something was thrown into my eyes and I was blinded. I was blinded for a bit. And it really, really physically affected me, which I found it really, really interesting in this room. So I'm interested to know what she's about.
Is she here now? This is the grandmother you're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you think that's who you heard laughing?
Yeah, it was that older.
Right.
And it certainly sounded like that kind of laugh.
Okay.
She's here. Stormy energy, very stormy energy. Okay. She's saying in life, I couldn't see you, so I'm presuming she was blind. In life, I couldn't see you, which is the eyes thing, but I can see you now.
Ah.
That's what she's saying. In life,
Is she a good person?
I wouldn't say that. I think you would cross the road if you saw her coming your
Really?
way. I don't think she's evil. I don't really like the use of that word. I think she's she's as misunderstood as some people are still in this world, and she's a product of her time. You know, she's had to scrape and steal. I don't think she had to murder. There's no excuse for that one. Just asking her about murder. And she's saying that not everything that was written or told about her is true. That's what she's saying.
Who is she then? What's her name?
This is Elizabeth.
It's Elizabeth?
Yeah.
What, the Elizabeth?
I think it's Elizabeth Demdike.
Elizabeth Demdike.
Sorry, it's quite disturbing energy.
No, go on, tell me what you're feeling.
She's very confrontational, which I don't have a problem with, but she's transfiguring. In other words, in my mind, she's changing shape. She's doing all sorts of stupid things around me to try and impress and scare me. And it's making me feel a bit breathless. Well, she's changing shape, so she's making her face elongate and going wolf-like. She's like, you know, she's in my face.
Can you not let her come close to you? Try and talk.
I am trying to do that. Yeah, I'm trying to.
Shall we be quiet for a bit?
Yeah. She's got her hands here. She's got her hands on my throat, and I won't allow. After last time, I'm absolutely stuck up the eyebrows with protection.
Is she in the room now?
Yeah, she's right here. She's right here in front of me.
So right, okay, so she can see us?
Yeah.
She can hear us?
Yeah, she can hear us.
Okay. Elizabeth, it's me again. Do you remember me? Can you hear her? She talk to you?
She's saying, I remember you.
Right.
She actually said, I remember you, dear.
Okay, dear. If you can hear me, dear, I'm not scared of you at all. You don't frighten me. But what I want you to do is I want you to try and tell us why you're still here and why you frighten people.
You dirty souls.
My legs have gone.
Derek.
Is he breathing?
John, what's up? Across the floor. You know you... Are you happy with your effect now? Oh, God.
She seems to be sort of just skulking about now, though. She's looking at each and every one of you individually.
Is she?
Yeah, she's kind of walking around looking at them individually. She's a very small lady.
How does everybody feel in this room?
I feel okay. I thought briefly that I felt like something else was in the room with us, that we weren't alone. But then that feeling passed. So I feel confident.
What about you, Stu?
I don't feel scared or unnerved at this moment in time, but later on I might be.
What about you, John?
I feel fine. Yeah, I feel fine here, but after the way I felt at the last place, you know, anything's better than feeling like that, so.
We were now aware that more than one generation cannot rest at ease, and having bravely decided to return to this notorious scene, we'd all soon realise that Lower Wellhead Farm would return to haunt us once more.
That scratching, when it was scratching. Who's that? Oh my God.
Our return to Lancashire's Pendle Hill had so far only touched on the supposed witchcraft for which this area has gained notoriety. Both Derek and David felt that Lower Wellhead Farm may not be about to make our second stay any less unnerving than the first. Nevertheless, we needed volunteers to bravely step forward to begin the night vigils. And we were met with early success, as firstly Carl and Stuart and then Richard and Rachel recorded both visual and auditory phenomena.
Are there any orbs in this room? If there are, please show yourself. Dance around my feet. Make a flashy colour.
You're joking. Where, in the corner?
So, I just had 2 flashes go across the screen.
You're kidding me.
Bloody well not, no.
They're over there.
There, where you are now.
Someone here that wants to talk to us. Now's your chance. You've probably never had anyone here asking this question before. Perhaps you've been trapped here for 400 years. You want to gain release, perhaps. Now's the time to talk. If there's someone there, make a sound. Shit. Make a sound. Make a sound.
These events took place in the main bedroom and both responses offered early encouragement. But our crew, as well as the viewing public, are both aware that this building can deliver, and has. Feeling that these footsteps came from the empty corridor, Rachel asked David to join Kath, Alex and herself in the hope of discovering more.
Come on, if anyone's here, I think, Catherine, I can sense you. Alison, I know you're here now as well.
Who's Alison?
She's a daughter, Elizabeth.
Is she a witch? What was that? Is she a witch? What was that? What?
Scratching.
What's that? Where's that coming from? Oh my God. There's something in there. What is that? David? David, what was that noise?
It's right, someone got someone.
David, what was that noise?
It's right, someone got someone.
It's right, but it was there. That was right by where I was sat. I'm sorry, I don't like David. Please, I don't want to see it. It's in that room. It's got to be in that room. Oh my God. Is that you making that noise? If you're making that scratching noise, can you do it again, please?
Was it scratching? Or was it someone walking?
No, it was scratching. It was like dragging.
Yeah. I've never heard such audibles in my life.
No, David, were you alright then?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. My rational head is saying, okay, there's someone in there. But we know we're the only ones on this level.
Where was it? It sounded like it was in here. Was that you? That was me.
Alison, if that's you, could you make that noise again for us? Alison, please make that noise again for us. Make it louder for us.
That scratching, when that was scratching. Who's that? Oh my God. Who is that? No, there's no one. Are you sure? Sure.
Shocked and clearly disturbed by the clarity and regularity of these sounds, the group move into the main bedroom, which gives David the opportunity to take up advice that he had earlier offered.
See, I think the reason, when you did the live, when you did the walk round with Derek and yourself, and Derek was picking up stuff, which you can pick up, that weren't particularly active, I think this lot will respond to the table and to the glass, because that collective energy is more of them.
Well, let's do that then. I think we should set up to do that, yeah?
Okay.
So with David having felt the presence of Elizabeth in the main bedroom, as well as both Alison and Catherine out in the corridor, could the group's use of an upturned glass prove to be the signal that these apparent spiritual energies required?
Did you try to contact us while we were in the corridor?
Alison, is your mother here in the house with you?
Ask her. Ask her if her mother visits. If her and her mother visits the other.
Alison, do you and your mother visit Tyndale Farm? Alison, was your mother Elizabeth Demdike?
Alison, please move the glass if you're willing to talk to me. Would you prefer if one of the girls talked to you, Alison? Okay. Ask her. Ask her if she's happy. Yeah.
Alison, are you happy here? What? What? What?
What is it? It's all right.
Jesus Christ. Scared the shit out of me.
There's nothing there.
Is that there?
It's a white rug. That's a sheepskin rug that's been pushed there out of the way. It's a stood on it. Touch it. Yeah, it's not warm. It's just a sheepskin rug. You wouldn't have felt that, I don't think, if you'd sat
I
against
wouldn't
it.
have because my back's higher.
Yeah.
Something warm touched my back.
It's interesting because Kieran would always say that astrals or spirit beings manifest, and as the cold, there's a drop in temperature. It's been my experience that that's not always the case. But ask if it's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, is this you? I've gone really cold. Elizabeth.
The draft on my hand.
Yeah. Elizabeth, is that you moving this glass? Elizabeth, do you mind me asking you these questions? Would you like me to carry on asking you these questions, Elizabeth? Elizabeth, is there anyone else here with you in this room with us? Are there 9 of you here in this room?
I'm going. I am going.
Elizabeth?
Stay in here. Can't stay in here.
You'll be alright.
Elizabeth?
You'll be
No, it's
alright.
fine, you're with David.
You'll be alright.
Elizabeth?
I don't feel threatened.
Please, can you tell me if anyone here means to harm us?
Ask if it's me.
Okay. Footsteps. I thought I heard that too. I put something cold on my bed.
Kath's previous torment within these walls only aligned the fear within Alex and Rachel, and stirred a few unpleasant memories for David as well. But if we were to make further progress, then we would all need to put ourselves into the firing line. But by doing so, just how vulnerable would we actually become?
She's screaming quite violently up there now. I've never ever heard her.
Yvette.
Halloween 2004 was probably the most terrifying night that the collective Most Haunted team has ever had to endure. But unrepented, we have decided to return to the scene of our horror, Pendle Hill. And having been buoyed by the levels of activity so far witnessed, we decided to split into 2 groups. With Stuart, Ian, Kath and Alex feeling a little more comfortable in the downstairs lounge, it was left to David, Kieran, Carl and myself to handle anything that the main bedroom can throw at us.
Where did you hear stuff?
We're in the corridor. We made scratches, but when we used the glass on the floor to communicate, and there was noises in here coming from, I think that's a cupboard there, we didn't open the door. It was like someone was coming towards you and scraping their fingers on the wall. Like, it was like, you could feel a presence coming close, and it was like a...
Did you have the door open?
Yeah, we did.
Is that what keeping the door open? Should we be quiet for a little while?
Elizabeth, can you hear us? If you can see us and hear us, make a noise, make a scratching chant, move something across the floor. Even show us yourself. Do you get that cold draft then?
No.
Did you? No. You must have done.
No.
Why don't we do some automatic handwriting?
Try,
Like that. In this room.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah? Right, who's doing it? David, obviously.
Why me, obviously?
Because you're a medium. I'll try it.
I was going to say maybe it'd be quite good for someone who isn't a medium to try it. I'd like to see that.
Well, why don't you try it?
Oh, yeah, why don't you try it?
I'll try it. Probably come out with a load of scribble and nothing else.
If there's anyone who wants to contact us, please maybe move Yvette's arm to write something if that's what you want. Just gently move her arm.
That's Yvette up there.
Shit.
Screaming, crying.
I knew something was going to happen to her.
Something's going on upstairs. What, we don't know.
Feel your feet. Your feet, right? Your feet.
Let's go in that room quick. Come on.
Stay quiet. Okay. Come here. Yvette, wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your fingers. Leave her.
What we've got upstairs is Yvette. I think Yvette might be taken over. And she's screaming quite violently up there now. I've never ever heard that in the history of Most Haunted. Cal's up there as well.
Okay. Yvette, talk to me. Yvette, talk to me.
Just leave it a second.
Why don't you tell them to come back in here and we'll go in there?
Let's go upstairs. Come on, sweetheart.
Yvette. Come on, Yvette. Come on, sweetheart. Freezing cold.
What you have just seen is a small proportion of what actually happened to me. I was later told that this had all taken place in just 6 minutes, yet at the time I simply had no concept of where I was or what was happening to me. Terrified, frightened, and literally sick with fear, This was the end of our night and the culmination of an investigation that we all want to put behind us. In hindsight, perhaps the signs had been there. Direct threats to female crew members.
Please, can you tell me if anyone here means to harm us?
My own misjudged bravery.
If you can hear me, dear, I'm not scared of you at all. You don't frighten me.
And even as far back as the first night of our Halloween investigations, when David's own automatic writing session had even forewarned of the danger that was to manifest in this area. But I was prepared to attempt this practice myself, and whatever conclusions can be drawn from my own state of consciousness, these are events that will haunt me for the rest of my life. And unbeknown to me at the time, once he had taken time to take all of this in, Carl's feelings were there for all to see.
There's nothing worse than seeing someone that you love more than anything in the world very distressed, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Absolutely nothing. And you think, well, I'm supposed to be here to protect her and help her and make her happy, and she wasn't. And you suddenly forget. Because you're on a personal level, you forget what you're here for, and I just... It was horrible. It really was horrible. I'm more likely to believe the spiritual explanation, which was what David said about a past life regression, more so than the scientific explanation that she could have had some sort of fit. I don't think she did have a fit.
I think you slipped into some form of regression. You slipped into the eyes fluttering, particularly gave that away for me. It's something that people do in regression, and when I was sitting at the end of the bed trying to link in, I went into a past life. But I didn't recognise it. I didn't recognise the life. I mean, I can sort of, I can hear what's going on in the room, I'm in it, and I thought, well, I don't understand what's going on here, but it seemed like there was a witch trial going on, and I thought, this is odd. But when I do past life regression, that's how I see other people's lives when they're having the regression. So my explanation would be, you slipped into a past life, a particularly unpleasant one. What I was viewing was your past life as you were getting the full whack of that experience. I think you remembered a past life there.
The investigative team had such an intense experience at Lower Wellhead Farm on Most Haunted Live that they felt it was necessary to go back for one of the episodes. Some of the phenomena that occurred included, on one particular vigil in the upstairs corridor, David Wells and Kath and Rachel actually heard a scratching sound all along the wall.
What is that? David, what is that noise?
There was no one there. They went and checked. The owners of the farm were downstairs keeping very, very still. And again, no explanation at all for it.
I've never heard such audibles in my life.
One possibility is that it might be animals, for example, mice, up in the attic causing the scratching sound. There are a lot of explanations for the sound.
Why don't we do some automatic handwriting?
Try, yeah. Well, why don't you try it?
Why don't you try it?
I'll try it. Probably come out with a load of scribble and nothing else.
Yeah, but that's what kind of happens.
At one point in one of the upstairs bedroom, the group there attempted automatic writing, and Yvette actually tried the automatic writing herself. The pen moved very frantically, and she had quite an experience associated with that automatic writing. Now, because of the environment, because it was a very comfortable bed, because it was very warm, and also because it was in the early hours of the morning, and so certainly Yvette was quite tired, there's a possibility that she may have actually gone under the same sort of experience that one would go under if you were hypnotised, and almost reached kind of an altered state an unawareness of what is going on, and that causes the pen to move and causes her to have the experience that she had. That's a possibility.
Lower Wellhead Farm, a house and a home, but a place that I never want to see again. And worse still, Tynedale Farm still awaits the Most Haunted team. Until next time, sleep tight.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
The new series of Most Haunted continues on Living TV.
After all those experiences, there's more on the way next as Lower Wellhead Farm gives up more of its secrets in a Most Haunted Extra.